Thank you, Gokul, for joining us today with our podcast. Happy to have you. Happy to see you after a long time. For the benefit of our audience, can you please tell a little bit about yourself and the service that you represent?
Uh, hey Karthik, thanks so much for having me. I currently run something called Slash DR. It's Slash Doctor. We build apps for primary care. Primary care is the most neglected part of healthcare in India for whatever reason. So we thought we will help primary care, and we have built something for primary care very specifically. That's what we are doing. We are a team of around 11 people sitting everywhere. So I think that's the theme of the podcast today
Yes, that
about
is.
remote work. So we are completely remotely located. I'm not an engineer by profession. I am actually a MCA graduate. People at that time called MCA as equivalent to engineer or masters or whatever it is. There's no. So let's not worry about that. I worked in TCS for a while. I got out. I experimented with 4 or 5 different companies, and then we started on our own. I think we met when we were running NF1 Labs, right? NF1 Labs is another company which is still uh, currently doing design and development of mobile and web apps. We have spoken about NFL Labs in length before, right? Even in
Yes.
your previous avatar, and we spoke a lot about NFL Labs. We still are yeah, an office-based thing in Chennai. Even NFL Labs practices remote work on and off, and now they are also fully remotely. Everyone is remotely located in NFL Labs also. Nobody is in office, and we are continuing to use different tools at NFL Labs, and we are doing Zoho-based tools in slash DR. So there are
Okay.
two organizations I represent.
Sure. So, going back a little bit, I think it was a year or a year and a half back when you actually moved to remote work before this pandemic and this crisis. So, at that time, I mean, can you tell what were the major factors that contributed to you moving remote?
I moved remote, I think, 2 years ago. In 2018 April, I moved remote. I am the first employee per se of Slash Gear to go remote entirely. I moved to Coimbatore from Chennai, and we started building a team. And we, of course, we were looking for money at that point in time. In 2019 January, we were looking for money. We didn't have money at that point in time. So we thought we will move the team remotely and see how it works. So that was an experiment born out of need. We got money, and we opened an office in Coimbatore, but we made sure that it's only 2 days a month kind of office, and the rest of the time we continued to work remotely because it was, I tell you, it was absolute fun. We just had to travel 10 meters to our office, and there was no traffic jam and anything. And all we needed was internet connection, and we can work at our convenience. And we, uh, I don't know, I'm just jumping and giving answers even before you ask questions. Do you want me to continue to
No,
talk,
no,
or you
please,
want to
please,
ask questions?
please. I'll interfere when I have to.
Okay. So we see, we are not a new team, right? We kind of know each other. Of course, there are people who joined us new from different companies, right? But still, the core part of Slash DR is a team which we knew before. It's, I think, the trust that we have on each other played a very important role in moving remotely. um, we all know each other, and we knew exactly what we wanted to do. And when we brought in new people, we were able to actually explain. They were shocked initially, say, because we don't have this daily check-in time, daily checkout time, constant nagging on different texting tools, and we don't need often video calls and stuff like that. And we actually kind of write down what we want for the next 4 weeks when we meet in Coimbatore. We write down, and we actually we have a writing culture. I shouldn't say we have a writing culture. I write and people don't even read. That's the kind
Okay.
of culture we have got.
All right.
Uh, So at least I know, and at least people know that there is some place where it is written down and they can actually go and refer. So there is a writing culture. So we write down and we go back and we do whatever we are supposed to do. And instead of having a whole group chat kind of thing, we do a one-on-one chat all the time. So the front-end team speaks to back-end team, the back-end team speaks to the testing team, kind of. We don't care about having everyone on board, making everyone come on, I don't know, same page, blah blah blah. We don't trust all those things. We just talk one-on-one all the time because it's close-knit, small team, right? We are not really a big 100-member team. It's a small team, so it works out. The remote is actually working out very well because we trust each other. That's what I should say.
Okay, and yes, so I think there is a certain ease of there's a comfort level between the team, so that is helping. That probably helped you move a little more quickly into the remote work mode. Uh, so you talked about communication, and you don't feel the need to constantly nag someone and all that. And I think the term people are using is asynchronous, timelines, where somebody pings and somebody might take a couple of hours to respond, and that's perfectly fine. So I think for new teams, like people who are into this uh, not by choice but by force of circumstances, what we are facing right now with Corona. What will be your three three? I won't call it tips. I know you don't like to advise, but yeah, okay. What are some checklists? Okay, you take it if you want, otherwise you leave it, kind of thing. What are the three things that you will say?
I think I told I gave the answer before. It's just the trust. You just have to trust the other guy. So nobody comes to office to do a bad job, right? That's something we trust a lot. Everyone comes to office to do a good job, and I think that's the first thing you need to understand about the other party. Uh, uh, you just have to trust the other guy to do the right thing, and I think so trust is one thing. The second one is writing down and understanding what is being written down. Whether or not you read, I think you should write it down and circulate it amongst the team. And when they have, because people work in different timelines, right? So there is this girl in New Delhi. She was not part of the initial team. She joined us later. We really met her one time when she joined in Coimbatore. That's all. We haven't met her. Probably for a drink when we went to Delhi, we met her again, and that's all, right? So the only two times really we have seen her. She probably will see this. So um, that's all, right? She works. She has a kid that who needs attention all the time. So she works in her own time. She sometimes works at night. She sometimes works early in the morning. At those times, writing down becomes very helpful. The messages that there is a small click, right? There is a
Yeah,
click. So click is what we use. We have this team group where we actually write down, and people can go back and refer what's being written down. That's one way. And when it comes to the all these 1 month thing we do are all small projects kind of. So these small projects get written down and people can actually go and refer what they are doing for the particular month. So writing down helps. Number one is trust. Number two is writing down. Number three is okay. Number one is trust. Number two is writing down, and number three is actually uh, kind of using a tool which actually helps you go back and read what was written and what communication happened back and forth.
sure.
Make sure that you don't use Snapchat, right?
Yes.
Things vaporize.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So use a tool that actually helps you go back and forth in
Sure.
time. So that's all I think.
Okay. I think you can also can we also talk a little bit about how distributed your team is, because there's somebody in Delhi, there's somebody in Coimbatore, and where else?
Okay. There are a couple of people in Chennai. The couple of guys sitting in Kambam. I really don't know. People actually go. There is one guy who just goes wherever he wants and sits, and the guy goes to Trichy, sits and works. People, I travel a lot of, I travel a lot because I have to go to doctors and meet them and speak to them, right? So I work from wherever I am, and I keep traveling all the time. And there's really no, I don't. think we even ask where you are.
Sure.
Except when we see a very nice background, we ask. One guy is in Malappuram, right? But every time it rains a lot. That place is very scenic. It rains a lot. He keeps when we do on a video call, he keeps showing things and he keeps that as the background rather than his house,
Okay.
and we
Sure.
all get pissed looking at what where he is sitting and working. So,
So you have a digital nomad definitely in your team, at least one from what you're saying.
yeah, that's right.
All right. There are different aspects to, building your service, and so there's the development side of it, and then there's the marketing side of it, and I think you're handling the business development, and you're moving directly interfacing with the clinics more within your team. So, which part of it is the most challenging in a remote work environment, and how are you, managing that? In terms of development, I think developers have always been on this kind of remote tools and all that. So, which operation is the most difficult to move into remote work?
I think the face-to-face meeting with the doctors is what I think that's what we currently are wondering how to do it. Doctors are developers and computer science folks are generally, they understand the remote, they understand telephone, they understand websites, right? Doctors are not like that.
Okay.
Doctors have a huge challenge understanding. Uh, see, the one of the basic things that when we started, we figured that doctors are much irritated with supporting on Skype, right? That was one of the initial reactions we got, saying that when we support monthly or once in a quarter, you have to actually show. Showing face to face to a doctor every quarter is actually one of the key metrics we have in our system. We actually go and show our face to the doctor and speak to him or her. We do that all the time. Now, that is something which we are going to face a huge challenge with. That is something which we have to change at this point in time. And I think doctors are more understanding about that. That's one part. The second part is implementation. Now, we have been implementing face to face. We actually go to the site and sit and speak to the doctor and implement. Now we are. I know that actually uh, was a little haphazard. I would say that we tend to be creative when we are implementing. Now there is no room for
Yeah, yeah.
creativity. Now we have to actually put together a process to do that, which we have to force ourselves today, which we thought we will do much later in the scheme of things, but we are forced to do it today. We are actually writing down how we should implement in a very methodical way. Now, remote has forced us to do things like that. So there are good things and there are bad things too. So
Even at a service level, will it be fair to say that you are going to have to innovate, because it looks like the situation is going to be there for a while, and it might be something that doctors and healthcare professionals are definitely going to, start looking more seriously into. And so, as a service, are there innovations that you're thinking about already?
uh, see, this COVID, this Corona thing is not just affecting Corona patients, right? The folks with acute respiratory syndromes, they are not just the folks who are affected because of this. There are millions, or I would say tens of millions of regular chronic patients, right? Like diabetics or a regular respiratory problems, asthmatics and uh, heart patients. So they want regular checkups, and there is no way that can happen today at this point in time. It is not just our service
Okay.
we give to doctors that is affected. The most affected are the real chronic patients who have to visit the doctor. Those are the ones who are affected. Now, doctors have to innovate by actually providing them service remotely, as in a telemedicine, right? Oh, of course, we built a tool in 8 days for telemedicine. That's a different thing. But doctors have to innovate themselves to provide service to their own patients. Now, when they do that, I think they will understand that we also have to provide service remotely. So in Tamil we say, right, Kalatin Katayam. No, it's the times that are actually forcing everyone to learn. Our service has to innovate itself and make sure that the doctors understand that we have to provide remotely. Doctors also will have to understand that they have to provide their own service remotely and stuff like that. So it's everyone is in a learning phase right now.
Sure. Thank you so much, Gokul. And before we leave, is there any particular trick or hack that you have, especially with Zoho Click is the service that you seem to prefer, especially for work chat? And I remember, is there any hack or trick that you particularly like about the service?
I don't think that there is any hack. It's probably just the way we use it. We have different channels and we keep all non-work chat. There's a lot of non-work chat that happens.
Okay.
We keep that really out of Zoho Click. We make sure that it doesn't happen there. So that's
Okay.
probably the hack, which lies outside of Zoho Click.
Yes. So I think
That's a big hack we have, I would say.
yeah, I think that's a big problem, right? Because people think they are comfortable with just one chat platform, and I mean everything goes there, and it becomes a bit of a mess. And you also
Yeah.
use you are a Zoho One user, if I'm right.
Yeah, we use Zoho Invoices, we use Zoho Meeting, we use a bunch of Zoho tools. Of course, yes. I'm not sure if it's called Zoho One. I don't even know the name of the product.
Okay,
We
no
keep
problem.
using a bunch of Zoho tools for.
So it has
It's
to
not
be
just Zoho tools, right? We use Telegram a lot.
sure.
We use WhatsApp to converse with doctors. Sometimes we use FaceTime to speak amongst themselves quickly. So there are a bunch of tools we use. We use different tools for different purpose with
Yeah.
different people.
So I think that's the key insight. You
Uh,
know exactly what this tool is for, and
Zoho being the
okay.
That's correct.
Thank you, Gokul. Thank you for joining us, and best of luck with Slash Doctor. I think I've been following it for a while now, and the service is quite interesting. And I know there are actual real doctors also involved. It's not just so it's a service that is
Yeah.
being built with people with deep knowledge of what public health infrastructure requirements are. And best of luck on behalf of Zoho also for your service, and we'll keep in touch. Thank you so much.